Welcome back, my friend. It's always good to see you here, and today we're going to talk about something that could change how you experience life every single day. Your vision. I want you to imagine this. You're reading a book you love, watching your grandkids play, or driving down a familiar road at sunset. Now imagine those moments slowly becoming harder to enjoy. Letters start to blur. Colors lose their brightness, and driving at night feels more stressful than it used to. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. According to research from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, over 12 million Americans aged 40 and older are currently living with some form of vision impairment, and the risk increases sharply after age 60. What's more alarming is that Harvard Medical School reports many of these changes happen so gradually that people don't notice until significant damage has been done. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, explains it simply. Our eyes are like cameras with irreplaceable lenses. Once the damage is done, we can't swap them out, but we can protect them. And here's the hopeful part. While some age-related changes are inevitable, the speed and severity of vision decline can often be reduced. You see, much of the trouble begins with oxidative stress, a buildup of unstable molecules called free radicals that attack healthy cells in your eyes. Over time, this can lead to cataracts, macular degeneration, and even blindness. The Journal of the American Medical Association notes that oxidative stress is one of the leading contributors to preventable vision loss in older adults. But here's what most people don't realize. One of the most powerful tools for protecting your eyesight isn't hidden in an expensive treatment or surgery. It's right on your dinner plate. Research from the American Optometric Association shows that certain nutrients, when consumed consistently, can significantly reduce the risk of serious eye disease. So today, I'm going to share 7 science-backed foods that are not only delicious and easy to find, but proven to nourish your eyes from the inside out. These are small changes you can make right now that could help keep your vision sharper, longer. Stick with me. You won't want to miss this list. Let's start with a food you've probably seen 100 times at the grocery store, maybe even walked right past without thinking twice: the bright, glossy red bell pepper. It's colorful, crisp, and naturally sweet. But here's the thing. This everyday vegetable is a vision-protecting powerhouse hiding in plain sight. According to research from the American Optometric Association, red bell peppers are one of the richest dietary sources of vitamin C, an antioxidant your eyes depend on to combat oxidative stress. Just one large pepper provides more than 200% of your daily vitamin C needs, which is actually about 7 times more than an orange. That's not just a nutrition trivia fact, it's a game changer. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, puts it this way. Vitamin C acts like a shield for the tiny, fragile blood vessels in your eyes, helping protect them from age-related wear and tear. And science backs him up. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people with higher vitamin C intake had up to a 33% lower risk of developing cataracts. But the benefits don't stop there. Red bell peppers also contain beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A, which is crucial for maintaining a healthy cornea and preventing night blindness. Harvard Medical School reports that vitamin A deficiency is one of the top causes of preventable vision problems worldwide. The best part? You don't need to overcomplicate things to enjoy them. For a quick snack, slice a fresh red pepper into strips and pair it with hummus. You'll get vitamin C from the pepper and zinc from the chickpeas, 2 nutrients that work together to improve vitamin A absorption. Or try roasting pepper slices at 400 degrees with a drizzle of olive oil. Light roasting actually boosts the bioavailability of certain antioxidants, meaning your body can absorb more of the good stuff. So, the next time you're strolling through the produce aisle, don't think of red bell peppers as just salad filler. Think of them as an easy, delicious way to help keep your vision sharper. Now, let's talk about something so tiny you could fit hundreds of them in the palm of your hand. Yet they pack a vision-protecting punch you can't afford to ignore. I'm talking about chia seeds. These little specks might not look impressive, but for your eyes, they're like microscopic bodyguards. One of the hidden dangers for older adults is elevated intraocular pressure, when the pressure inside your eye creeps up silently over time. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, explains, "You won't feel it, you won't see it coming, but it can eventually lead to glaucoma, one of the top causes of irreversible blindness in seniors." According to research from the National Eye Institute, glaucoma often progresses without symptoms until significant vision loss has occurred. Here's where chia seeds shine. They're one of the richest plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that omega-3s can help lower intraocular pressure, reduce inflammation, and improve blood flow to the retina, 3 critical factors for maintaining healthy vision. But that's not all. Many older adults struggle with dry, irritated eyes, especially after long hours on digital screens. Chia seeds absorb up to 10 times their weight in water, creating a gel-like texture that helps your body maintain hydration, supporting not just your overall health, but also the moisture balance of your eyes. Incorporating them into your day couldn't be easier. Before bed, stir 2 tablespoons of chia seeds into a glass of almond milk or coconut water. Let it sit overnight, and by morning, you'll have a smooth pudding that's gentle on digestion. Add a handful of blueberries for an extra antioxidant boost to protect your retina. Small seeds, big benefits. Chia is proof that sometimes the tiniest changes to your diet can have the biggest impact on your vision. From the pantry, we now take a short trip to the ocean, where one of the most overlooked vision-saving foods quietly grows beneath the waves: seaweed. You've probably seen it wrapped around sushi rolls or in thin roasted sheets, but what you might not know is that this humble sea vegetable is loaded with nutrients that can protect one of your most precious assets, your retina. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, explains, "The retina is like the film in a camera. Once it's damaged, you can't truly replace it. Protecting it early is key to lifelong vision." And the research agrees. According to studies from the American Academy of Ophthalmology, 2 omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA, are essential for retinal function and reducing inflammation in the eye. While most people think of salmon or mackerel as the go-to sources, certain types of seaweed actually provide a rich, plant-based supply of these critical fats. This matters because age-related macular degeneration, AMD, is the leading cause of vision loss in Americans over 50, and low DHA levels have been linked to a higher risk of developing the condition. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people with higher omega-3 intake had significantly better visual function and a reduced risk of AMD progression. Seaweed offers other benefits too. It supports a healthier tear film, helping to combat the dry, scratchy eyes that many older adults experience. In fact, research from Harvard Medical School shows that omega-3s can improve dry eye symptoms by nearly 45% when consumed regularly. Adding seaweed to your diet is easier than you might think. Sprinkle dried flakes over soups, salads, or scrambled eggs for a nearly flavorless nutrient boost. Or lightly roast seaweed sheets with a drizzle of olive oil for a crunchy, eye-friendly snack. Pair with avocado for an extra hit of vitamin E, which helps your body absorb omega-3s more effectively. The bottom line? Just a few bites of seaweed a week can give your eyes the ocean's own defense system. From the ocean's greens, let's head to the tropics, where a soft, orange-gold fruit quietly delivers a powerful shield for your eyes. Papaya. Sweet, juicy, and packed with nutrients, it's more than just a refreshing snack. It's a frontline defender against age-related vision loss. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, explains, as we age, our eyes face a constant barrage of oxidative stress, tiny, unstable molecules called free radicals attacking healthy eye tissue every single day. Over time, this damage can cloud the lens, weaken the retina, and lead to cataracts or macular degeneration. Here's where papaya steps in. According to research from Harvard Medical School, papaya is one of the richest natural sources of vitamin C, an antioxidant proven to protect the delicate blood vessels in your eyes. Just one medium papaya provides more than 200% of your recommended daily intake, nearly double what you'd get from an orange. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people with higher vitamin C levels had up to a 30% lower risk of developing cataracts. Vitamin C in papaya also acts like a natural sunscreen for your eyes, helping protect against UV-induced retinal damage. Even on cloudy days, your eyes are exposed to ultraviolet rays, and over the years, that exposure accelerates vision decline. Papaya's antioxidant compounds slow that process, keeping your eye tissues stronger for longer. Enjoying papaya is as simple as it is delicious. Blend half a ripe papaya with a handful of spinach and a splash of lime juice for a quick smoothie. You'll get not only a vitamin C boost, but also lutein and zeaxanthin from the spinach, two carotenoids shown to help filter harmful blue light. Sweet, vibrant, and science-backed, papaya is a tropical treat your eyes will thank you for. Now, let's move from tropical sweetness to something hearty, earthy, and surprisingly powerful for your eyes: chickpeas. You may know them as the star ingredient in hummus, but these humble legumes are also one of the richest plant-based sources of a mineral your eyes can't function without: zinc. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, explains, zinc acts like a delivery service for your eyes. It helps transport vitamin A from your liver to the retina, where it's converted into melanin, the pigment that protects your eyes from light damage. Without enough zinc, this process falters, making it harder for your eyes to adapt to low-light conditions. That's why many people with zinc deficiency notice trouble driving at night or reading in dim rooms. According to research from the National Eye Institute, increasing zinc intake can improve night vision and slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration, AMD, by up to 25%. 1 cup of cooked chickpeas provides about a quarter of your daily zinc needs, making them an easy, affordable way to give your eyes a nutritional boost. But zinc isn't the only gift chickpeas bring to the table. They're also rich in plant protein and fiber, which help stabilize blood sugar. This matters because, as studies published in the Journal of the American Medical Association note, uncontrolled blood sugar can damage the tiny blood vessels in your retina, a condition known as diabetic retinopathy. The best part? Chickpeas are incredibly versatile. For a satisfying snack, toss cooked chickpeas with olive oil, turmeric, and black pepper, then roast until crispy. Turmeric's curcumin compound works hand-in-hand with zinc to reduce inflammation in eye tissues. For an extra boost, squeeze fresh lemon juice over the top. The vitamin C improves zinc absorption. Simple, filling, and backed by science, chickpeas prove that good vision can start with something as small as what's on your plate. From the earthy taste of chickpeas Let's sail back to the sea, this time for one of the most underrated superfoods for your eyes, sardines. These small silvery fish might not have the glamour of salmon or tuna, but they're loaded with nutrients that can help keep your vision sharp well into your later years. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, says, "When it comes to protecting your retina and reducing inflammation in the eye, sardines are a nutritional goldmine." And he's right. Sardines are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA and EPA, which have been shown to reduce chronic inflammation, improve retinal blood flow, and lower the risk of age-related macular degeneration, AMD. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, people who consumed higher levels of omega-3s had up to a 39% lower risk of developing AMD. But the benefits don't end there. Sardines are also one of the best dietary sources of vitamin D, providing nearly double your daily requirement in just one small can. Harvard Medical School notes that vitamin D supports immune health and reduces inflammatory processes that can damage both your bones and your eyes. Low vitamin D levels have even been linked to increased eye fatigue and glare sensitivity. Incorporating sardines into your diet is simpler than you might think. Warm them slightly and serve on whole grain toast with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a sprinkle of parsley, and a squeeze of lemon juice. The vitamin C from the lemon helps your body absorb iron more effectively, further supporting healthy blood flow to your eyes. Affordable, shelf-stable, and packed with science-backed benefits, sardines prove that you don't need fancy foods to protect your vision. Sometimes, the best things for your eyes come in a small tin. We'll finish our journey with a food that comes from the deep ocean and carries a reputation for being a luxury. Yet, for your eyes, it's more like potent medicine in a shell: oysters. These briny delicacies are the single richest natural source of zinc, a mineral your vision depends on every single day. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, explains, "Zinc is essential for moving vitamin A from your liver to the retina, where it helps produce melanin, the pigment that shields your eyes from light damage. Without adequate zinc, this process slows down, making it harder for your eyes to adapt to darkness and increasing the risk for both cataracts and age-related macular degeneration, AMD. The numbers are striking. Just 6 medium oysters deliver over 500% of your daily zinc requirement, more than any other food by far. According to research from the American Optometric Association, increasing zinc intake has been shown to reduce the risk of advanced AMD by up to 25%. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association also found that zinc supplementation significantly improved night vision in older adults. Oysters offer another important benefit: tissue repair. If you've recently had eye surgery, laser treatment, or even prolonged irritation, zinc supports faster healing by aiding cell regeneration. That's why they're not just protective, they're restorative. If raw oysters aren't your style, don't worry. Lightly steaming or grilling them keeps most of their zinc content intact while giving them a milder texture. For extra eye protection, top with a splash of vinegar and serve alongside steamed spinach, which is rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids that help filter harmful blue light before it reaches your retina. Oysters might seem like a treat, but for your eyes, they're a nutrient-packed ally worth adding to your plate whenever you can. If you've made it all the way here, I want to pause and say something important. Thank you. Thank you for caring enough about your health to invest this time in yourself. Your eyesight isn't just about seeing the world clearly, it's about experiencing life fully. It's the difference between reading bedtime stories to your grandchildren with ease, recognizing a friend's smile across the room, or driving confidently at night without hesitation. Dr. James Porter, a board-certified specialist in senior health, reminds us, eye health is built on small, consistent choices, not one-time fixes. Research from Harvard Medical School supports this, showing that diet and lifestyle changes can significantly reduce the risk of age-related vision loss, even in those already experiencing early symptoms. The good news? Protecting your vision doesn't require drastic overhauls or expensive treatments. It's about steady, daily habits, like adding vitamin C-rich red peppers to your lunch, chia pudding to your breakfast, or omega-3 packed sardines to your dinner. Each bite is a small investment with compounding returns for your future self. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that individuals who regularly consumed nutrient-rich foods were far less likely to develop advanced macular degeneration compared to those who did not. This isn't just theory, it's proof that what you eat today shapes what you'll see tomorrow. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of the 8 foods we discussed and start this week. Then, share your choice in the comments below. Your experience could inspire someone else to take their first step. If this guide has helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can build a community of people determined to stay sharp, strong, and independent because your best years are still ahead and your eyes deserve to be there to see them.